The conflict between America and Iran, it's no longer limited to just two nations. Slowly, more players are becoming involved. And now, one of Iran's strongest regional allies, it has issued a fresh warning that is making governments across the Gulf nervous. The Iran-backed Houthi movement in Yemen, they have warned Gulf countries that host American military bases. And according to that particular militia, if these countries allow their territory to be used for attacks against Iran, they could themselves become target. Well, the warning comes after recent US military strike inside Iran and renewed Houthi threat against Saudi infrastructure. Let's just understand why this matters. The United States has military bases across several Gulf nations. These bases play a major role in American operation across West Asia. They support surveillance mission, air operation, naval deployment, and regional security. Well, if those bases become the target, the conflict could spread far beyond Iran. Countries that have so far tried to avoid direct involvement could suddenly find themselves pulled into the crisis, and that is exactly what worries the military experts. Can you imagine living in a country that is not officially at war, yet becoming a potential target simply because foreign military forces are stationed there? And that is the challenge many Gulf nations are now facing. The Houthis have previously demonstrated their ability to launch long-range drone and missiles against critical infrastructure. Now, in recent years, oil facilities, airports, and commercial shippings have all faced attacks linked to the regional conflict. And that is why governments across the Gulf are taking every new warning very seriously here. Now, think about the bigger picture. Every new threat that creates fresh uncertainty. Every warning, it raises the risk of another military response, and every response brings the whole region one step closer to a wider conflict. Well, for India, this crisis also matters here. Millions of Indians live and work across Gulf nations. Thousands travel through region every single day. So any major escalation could affect flights, oil prices, shipping routes, and regional instability. Well, the whole West Asia remains one of the world's most important economic region, and any instability there, it can quickly affect economies around the globe. For now, the warnings remain just that, a warning. But history has shown that in West Asia, words can quickly turn into action. Sometimes the biggest diplomatic stories are not about meetings that happened. They are about meetings that never happened. Can you imagine this? A senior official from New York City prepares for an official meeting with Iran's ambassador to the United States. The meeting, it is scheduled. Everything is ready. Then, just before it begins, Washington steps in and suddenly the entire meeting is cancelled. That's exactly what has happened in the United States. According to reports, Anna Maria, who serves as New York City's Commissioner for International Affairs, was scheduled to meet Iran's ambassador to the United States, Amir Said, and that too in Manhattan. But before the meeting could take place, officials from the Trump administration reportedly intervened. The State Department contacted New York City's Mayor, Mr. Zohran Mamdani's office, and the meeting was cancelled before it could even begin. Well, reports also say that Archuleta was reprimanded after the planned meeting was stopped. Now, many people, they may wonder, why would Washington stop a simple diplomatic meeting, right? Well, the answer lies in current situation in West Asia. Relationship between the United States and Iran remain extremely tensed. Over the past few weeks, both the nations have exchanged military strikes, political warnings, strong statements. Every diplomatic move, it is now being watched very, very carefully. In fact, according to reports, the Trump administration did not want a New York City official holding an independent meeting with Iran's representative during such a sensitive period. Now, here's why this story is important. In the US, foreign policy is handled by federal government and not by city governments. Even though New York City hosts the United Nations, major diplomatic engagement with foreign governments is expected to remain under Washington's control. And that is why this cancelled meeting, it has attracted so much attention. Reports also suggest, by the way, that Mayor Zohran Mamdani, he himself was not informed about the planned meeting before the State Department became involved. And that has raised fresh questions about communication inside Mayor's office and how much diplomatic meetings are approved. But the story also tells us something much bigger. Today, even a routine diplomatic conversation has become politically sensitive. Every handshake, every meeting, every photograph, every conversation can carry international consequences, specifically when it involves Iran. The message from Washington appears clear here. When it comes to Iran, America wants complete control over its diplomatic engagement. But cancelling one meeting, it has not just reduced tension in West Asia. In fact, America's allies, they are now receiving fresh threats from one of Iran's closest regional partners.